So some of you might not have expected that I'm making a video this week, but everyone deals with situations in their own ways. Me, I really like to just keep going so that my mind doesn't have any time to slow down and think about things. Also, I'm not very confrontational. Some people, they just like hitting things dead on. Me, I'm a bush beater, okay? I beat right around that bush. I beat around that bush so hard they don't even know it's a bush anymore. And speaking of bush beating, politics. Oh man. It's been quite a wild week for most of us, and because it's been a wild week for politics, I'm coincidentally getting a lot of messages from people, don't know if they're real or not, going, Evan, you live in the UK, how'd you do it? How did you leave America? But you see, that's my thing, okay? I'm the American living in London. I don't want you to be the American living in London. No, that's my thing, okay? Don't come for my brand, bro. No, but in reality, people have asked, like, why and how I moved from America to England. Why would I leave the greatest country on earth, you might ask? Well, let me tell you a story. So I, like many Americans that graduated high school, didn't have any freaking clue what he wanted to do. Except I kind of did. I wanted to teach math. I really loved math and I loved teaching it. I liked giving people the ability to love it. Because in my opinion, if you don't like math, it's because you've had a bad teacher that hasn't done a good job teaching one of the easiest and best subjects, in my opinion, okay? You might not like it, but like I said, you've had a bad teacher. If you had me, you would have loved it. You would have been like, oh, Evan, give me some Cheerios with extra math. You know why math students are so skinny? It's because they buy no meals. They don't eat. So I, like many Americans, went to university after high school because I like debt. I actually didn't get in that much debt. I had a lot of scholarships through New Jersey's STARS program, and I was able to get a lot of the debt removed, which is pretty good. I got my math degree, and then I realized, in the state of New Jersey, you can't just teach math. You also have to go back and get an education degree, which makes sense, because at this point I'm 22 years old, I have a degree in math. What tells anyone I can teach it? Maybe I should learn some teaching techniques. I don't know how to make a lesson plan. I'd just be like, algebra. Yeah, I don't know. I think I could do a good job as like a tutor or maybe like a professional tutor, but definitely not a teacher at this point. So I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I should spend more money going back to university, getting another degree, and also living with my parents and being stuck there, or do something different. I really couldn't see myself going back to university for a job that really couldn't pay off the debt. So I was definitely in a bit of a bind right after I graduated university, but my operations research professor was like, Evan, you're really good at operations research. Have you looked into further maths? And I was like, no, what can I do with that? And he said, only the best job ever with a very high salary. And I said, whoa, you're talking what I like. I hear that money, I hear that math. Cha-ching. Now, most students look into the graduate school about a year or two in advance. Me, it was about a month or two in advance, okay? I had no time to prepare for this. I just didn't know what I was doing, okay? Like, you graduate and you think, okay, what next? I don't know. Like, what do I do now? And so I decided I'm gonna go for this further math thing because what else do I have to lose? I applied to many universities, many being 2. Why? It was so late, no universities would accept any more students except 2. Boston University in America or Cass Business School in London. Now, I got accepted to both for their programs. Boston's was literally double the price and double the time. So, London was looking pretty good at this time. So this is one of the biggest reasons that I chose to move to London, because for me it was money. But also, it was an experience that I don't think I ever would have gotten otherwise. In my opinion, when I was moving over there, I was obviously just going to study abroad for a year or a year and a half until I'd finished, and then I'd come back. But I'd have that cool worldly experience, and I could tell people, like, yes, I've been to Europe. But the point in my life that I was at, I was working a dead-end job, getting $2.13 an hour serving pizza, and I was also living with my parents where I had to start paying rent soon, so I would literally be stuck in this perpetual poverty in the situation that I had made for myself because I had no other way out. So why did I choose England over the greatest country in the world? Well, because the greatest country in the world's education was double the price and double the time. I wasn't really feeling that, but also there are a lot of other reasons. For me, the UK represented something I could never do. I was born into a system where it's, the American dream. You always think you're gonna be up there, and you always see people up there, but you're still, working your $2.13 an hour job serving pizza in Glassboro, and you're never gonna get out of that. Paying rent to your parents and literally stuck in a system where you will never leave. So for me, I saw myself going to Boston and then, I don't know, nothing really coming of that. Whereas when I saw myself going to England, I saw it as making me a bit more cultured, international, being able to travel more. I did love traveling a whole lot, and at that point in my life, I'd only traveled to 2 places, California and Florida. I got my first passport just to go to university. So I did a lot of paperwork, I got accepted to Cass Business School, and I got a Tier 4 visa allowing me to study in the UK. From there, I always expected to go back to the US. I mean, I'm American. Why would I want to stay in this country if I could live in America? I mean, America! In the end, I began to wonder if I had chosen Philadelphia or if I had chosen Boston as the city that I grew up into an adult in, would I feel the same way I feel about London? Because London to me feels more like a home than my small town ever did. And I think that might be because everyone lives so close and there's so many people in London from so many different walks of life, whereas in my small town, it's kind of like an echo chamber and also very spread out. You have to drive at least 10 minutes to get to a friend's house because, you know, unless you're friends with a cow. I don't like the look of this neighborhood. Do not like it at all. These cows are moving in. I don't count that as a good pun. However, every year that went by, I made a different excuse. I was like, I mean, I'll probably go back to the US, but I'm not finished here yet. You know, I need a little bit more time. So after I graduated from my degree, I then got a job off of it, you know. I had that really nice degree and I got a job that had nothing to do with it, but still it was high in maths, so they liked me there. And then after that job, I got another one, and then another one. And you know what? Eventually I realized I don't really want to leave. I much prefer the UK. So how can you do what I did? Well, they don't really want any immigrants in this country. I made a video about it. A lot of people didn't like it, but it's very true. And actually, the loopholes that I used to come here, they're all closed now. Theresa May, the current prime minister, don't really like her that much. Basically, home is where you make it. I thought I would be stuck under my parents' household living in that situation forever, but I made this huge leap and I left and I moved to the UK where I surrounded myself with new friends and made my own family here that I love. But for you, it doesn't have to be that drastic. I know you might be living in a situation where you feel like you'll never escape. Maybe it's a bad family situation. Maybe you really don't like the way the government is run. The thing is, and this is my honest opinion, if you move to a city or you move to a place full of lots of new people, it'll open your mind. And let's say you're like, well, that's not gonna help, right? How's that gonna help the government situation? Be vocal with your opinions, but also be educating yourself constantly about both sides. And also, and this is really crucial, listen. I feel like the big reason that we had such a big issue with the last election was that no one was listening to the other side. One side was saying, they're evil, we hate them. And the other side was saying, no, they're evil and we hate them. And no one was actually communicating. It was basically just throwing crap at each other. And then in the end, I mean, no one's really happy. The nation's really divided. And that's how America is right now. And it makes me sad that it's like that. I hope everything gets better. I mean, I'm happy I live in the UK. Hooray, I'm safe. But I am going to LA tomorrow. So hope everything works out there. Hope I don't die. No matter where you live or what your living situation is, I hope you stay safe and I hope you have a great Sunday. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for all the kind words on last week's video. I turned off the internet right after I uploaded it and just kind of sank into a video game to not think about it. But coming back online and seeing the amount of support I got, it was really nice. Thank you lots. I'm going to, do that again. Gonna go take a break. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Goodbye. I don't really know what I wanted to say in this video. I just wanted to explain why it's not so important to leave your country just to be happy. I did. I was very happy. But you don't have to.